Hello, guys. Good day. This is Anna of Reinforce Me Club. Today, we are going to talk about understanding respect in hierarchies. I'll be bringing out a talk about explaining to you why is it important to respect the people in authorities, people in the position, even in our home, our mom and dad, our grandma, grandpa, our older brothers and sisters. So the topic today will help you understand everything about it. Before, to be honest, I couldn't understand why you have to respect some authorities who I personally think doesn't deserve to be in the position, because I came from a third world country, Philippines, and there is a dynasties of power in politics there. And it seems like nothing's happening in our community, in our country. And although, yeah, there are good things, but it seemed to be like the same problems all over the years. Although some people in the politics do deserve to be there, they made great changes. It's just that some people becomes the exception. And yeah, this strategy, understanding respect in authority, will help you really navigate your role in the institution, in the family, or in a company where you want to apply. The moment when I fully, not 100%, but almost understand the you know the importance of respecting the hierarchy, it's when I bought the book, the 48 Laws of Power. I got this around maybe more than 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I bought this in the Philippines, and then yeah, I just brought this back here in my home in Ireland last year. So this is from Philippines, and I bought a summary book. I didn't really. I almost forget that I already have the full book, not the summary one in the Philippines. It's just that I bought a summary because when I love things, I don't want to forget it. I want to be directly or indirectly be reminded of the things that I love. I must see this color in my environment, in my room. I have to be reminded that I can use this anytime when I need it. You know what? The basic law of power is never outshine your master. That is the number one law of power. It is, people, nobody's an exception to this. Every individual have egos. And when they are in power, they always want to preserve that. Otherwise, what's the sense of being in the position if you're not being respected, if you're not being valued? So to be able for them to keep that position, to be in power, they must protect it. It's natural response as a human. Everybody has an ego to protect their status, regardless of wherever we are, rich or poor. Every person have a status not only in employment, not only in riches, but basically in the family. You could be the mom or the dad or the grandpa, grandma, or the older brother or the youngest. That is your status. And you have all the opportunity to protect that and learn from your position, regardless of, if it's really the lowest one in the family since you are the youngest. But there are advantages that you can, enjoy out from the position. Now, let's go back to the preservation of ego and status for all the leaders, the boss in our workplace, our parents. They also have their ego. So it's important to really respect them, be polite, and make sure if we have stunning suggestions make sure that it echoes from, you just make them feel that it echoes from what they say, so that they won't feel like being overpowered. And that's also a means for every person to really collaborate rather than compete. Otherwise, there are some situations wherein we tend to lose ourselves, and we even forget about the number one rule: never outshine the master. Sometimes we tend to overpower them with our opinions, with our performance, and this can sometimes lead to resentment in their part, or even retaliation. Since those people in position of power often want to keep their dominance and authority. Otherwise, what's their use? They feel that they're being overpowered, it's an insult to them if they have huge flattering ego in their mind. So it's important to really be collaborative and always be polite, respectful, and vow to them if you have to. That is also a way for you to learn from their mistakes, to learn from their success, if you have plans to really advance your position in a company or advance your position in the favor, so that you can win uh, their favor. You become their favorite. So this is one way for you to really do. Another thing is that it's important to really not outshine the master, the people in the position, our mom and dad, or elder brothers and sisters. Is that outshining the master can upset this balance and disrupts the harmony in the relationship. It's important to really know your place. Just like, for example, sometimes I tend to overpower my dad. We have arguments sometimes. And then, at the end of the day, I don't want us to sleep with a pending argument. I apologize. I apologize. And then I just hug my dad and remind him that he's still my dad no matter what. And, when the anger, the tension has passed, I just tell them that, every person is different and you can be who you are and I can be who I am. But you always be my dad. And another scenario is that, have you noticed that, when you are really smart in school, in the class, and sometimes there are some ideas that you are really spectacular than your teacher. Sometimes you have the you have the power to really make your teacher feel small because you know the subject well. And your teacher, regardless of the fact that your teacher is humble, sometimes a little bit of ego can make your teacher feel that he or she is not good enough because you are too smart. But since you have a teacher and you're just a student, your teacher has the power to give you a grade which can make or break your future. So it's important, again, to pay respect to your teacher and never make them feel small, never make them feel that you outshine them, because your grades and your future, whether you like it or not, do, it's, your teacher holds that. They can give you a grade. Even though you are really effing smart, they can just give you a good enough grade. Just good enough to pass. Because they have the best ego. All right? It's way better to, again, be collaborative and pay respect to your teacher. Don't make them feel, I hate to say this, stupid. Otherwise, there will be an imbalance of what do you call that? Harmony in the relationship. Another thing is that when you outshine your boss, that you are really a high performer, employee, especially in the world of finances, even in a healthcare setting, yeah, it's not It's not quite rampant, we are taking care of people. But if you really want to move, to upgrade, to advance your position, you really have to be respectful to the hierarchy of power. If you want to improve, or if you want to level up your position in the corporate world in healthcare, you really have to be strategic and be collaborative. But hide your interests. Win their favor, make your boss feel important, everything that you have to do to advance your position. Otherwise, again, if you make your boss feel like you are better than them. And sometimes when I was younger, I did this thing. I did this mistake, but I didn't lose the job. It's just that when you are not the favorite, you'll get the shittiest assignment, the shittiest how do you call that? The shittiest shift, the shittiest on the shittiest days that you don't like to work, that you requested not to work. They're not gonna give you a favor if you are not in the like list. So it's way better not to outshine your boss, your master, or people in the position. Otherwise, they're gonna develop envy or jealousy. So to avoid envy and jealousy from your bosses, from your siblings, it's way better to really pay respect, acknowledge their effort. Always give your bosses, the people in the position, the spotlight. Otherwise, this jealousy and envy can poison relationships. And it's important not to trigger this negative emotion, which may, to avoid conflict, for world peace, for the sake of it. And if there are times that, you may not like your boss because you don't like the way your boss treats you, no matter what happens, pay respect. You may not please all the people in the world, or people around you might not like you, not all of them, but always remember to learn to get along with people around. That is to protect your interests, that you have a family to sustain, so you have to keep your job. You need to get along with people, regardless of the fact that you may hate your boss. If you ever protect your interests, because you have a family, you have a future plans. So keep that spotlight on your boss, make them feel important, make them feel that they are the best person that you've ever seen every single day. And go back to your job. Always remember your position. Just work on your position and acknowledge people in authorities. You can use this in a good and a bad way. A good way, because this is also a strategic way to advance your position. If they like you, if they want you, you will always win their favor, your boss's favor, the CEO's favor, because you are the favorite. And in the most part, you know about this strategy. Allow your boss, allow your parents to shine. At the same time, learn from their successes and mistakes. Build rapport, make them feel important, and that position, that care that you give them can help you, can position yourself for future opportunities. When people like you, when your boss like you, you would likely get a break in the future. Not this time, but since you know this strategy, never outshine your master, then you have a great deal of opportunity in the future if you want to. You can use this in good and bad way. Bad way if you have other plans which could destroy the relationship, destroy the person, but this happens, the way the book actually described this, it gives you a lot of examples in politics. So make use of this. And people in politics and business never outshine their master. But then after years and years, suddenly The least that you know, they become the president, they become the CEO, the director, they already are in the position. So that's one strategy. And of course, the good thing about not outshining your master is you can have a great deal of collaboration with them rather than competition in the relationship. And having a peaceful workplace, a peaceful relationship with people in power or people in without power can give you a kind of cooperative and productive working environment where everyone's strengths are utilized effectively. And always remember, protect your best interest. And of course, respecting the hierarchical norms is has always been, part of the way of life since long time ago, before Christ. There's already a tribe leaders. There's already people in who are priests. We pay respect to them. It's already been going on, whether you like it or not. So it's way better to show that you understand your place within the hierarchy and respect those people in power. If you want to advance your position or if you're planning something else. Lastly, I'm telling you, this is one way to protect your best interests, whatever plans you have. Although this principle have drawbacks, it can stifle your own potential and creativity. Otherwise, if you don't really like the culture, that politics in the workplace, it's way better off to really get your act together and apply another job to another company where you think you can grow, where you think that the culture of the company can really help you progress, help your intellectual growth there. And again, if you transfer from, for example, you're currently working in this company and you're planning to move out to another company, still you have your best interests. It's just that you don't really like the culture in the current company that you're working for. So you transfer in the other company, but you still have your best interests. And to protect that interest, part of it is to never outshine your master. It's about, this topic today is about striking the balance between showing respect for authority and pursuing your growth and ambitions. So be strategic and, protect your best interests. By the way, if you like this message today, you can follow me in YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Click subscribe, including the notification button. And this is Anne of Reinforce Me Club, by the way. And thank you so much for your time. Have a lovely day.